Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to dive into the foundational frameworks of change. Change is one of the most persistent forces in education, yet it is often used as a broad catch all term without careful attention to what kind of change is actually taking place. Before we can successfully lead or study change, we must distinguish between its different forms. Each type reflects different assumptions about what is shifting, why it matters, and how it unfolds in educational settings. By understanding these distinctions, we create a much stronger foundation for examining the models and theorists that guide our work. But before we discuss how to make change happen, we have to ask ourselves why we want change. What do we want to change? This brings us to the concept of the theory of change. A theory of change describes how and why a desired change is expected to happen in a specific context. It requires us to start with the end in mind. It focuses on mapping the missing middle between activities and desired goals. We first identify long-term goals and work backward to identify all conditions that must be in place. These conditions are mapped out in an outcomes framework. This framework helps identify which interventions will lead to our preconditions and better planning. It also improves our ability to evaluate progress beyond merely looking at program outputs. With our outcomes mapped, we must look at the specific nature of the change we want to enact. Let us break down the four primary types of change: social, organizational, technological, and behavioral. Social change involves alteration over time in behavior patterns, cultural values, and social norms across a group or community. When enacting social change, 5 levers include highlighting bright spots, using data, advocating policy shifts, changing public perception, and introducing disruptive technology. Organizational change is when a company or organization alters its working methods or aims. The goal is typically to develop, evolve, or react to new situations or markets. Technological change is an increase in the efficiency of a product or process that increases output without increasing input. Consider Schumpeter's concept of creative destruction, where new technologies replace older systems. This process drives both economic and social transformation. Behavioral change is the transformation or modification of human behavior. Behavioral theory reminds us that behavior changes when learning conditions and consequences change. Skinner argued that operant conditioning shows reinforcement increases likelihood of behavior, while punishment decreases it. As you progress through this module, you will explore frameworks developed by Kurt Lewin, John Kotter, and Michael Fullan. Lewin approaches organizational change with a 3-step model of unfreezing, changing, and refreezing behaviors. Kotter outlines an 8-step process that emphasizes communication and organizational decision-making. Fullan focuses on educational systems and frames sustainable change as a cultural process driven by moral purpose and relationships. Please look more deeply into the unique perspectives and applications of each theorist as you complete the readings and videos in this module.